Hey, folks, and welcome to another installment of the Mood Room. We are blessed, I guess I'll say blessed, to be joined by White America today is joining us. And we haven't quite had White America in the Mood Room. White America's already tried to take over the show by referring to the show as Uncle John's Cabin. White America has to run everything, you know what I mean? We just try to have our own ideas, and they got to come in and just, we own shit, you know?
You noticed that, huh?
Say hello, White America.
Good morning.
It's not even morning. It's like fucking 6:30. He's talking, good morning, America. Yep. We're gonna get sued now. Good job.
No, you're not. It's not copyrighted. Whatever.
And then Cuba, the creature, is joining us. Say hello, Cuba.
Good morning, Cuba.
Really, with the morning? What is wrong with you people? There's no morning here.
Because Cuba always follows White Americans, so it's okay.
Oh, okay. I bet everybody follows White Americans. If they don't, they get nuked. Did I say nuked? I meant bombed.
Well, you can always have the mother of all bombs.
Oh, God. Did you hear about the Pope? He was, like, offended by him calling it the mother of all bombs. Because it's like someone, he had, like, you refer to the mother as, you know, nurturing and bringing life and all that, and the bomb didn't do that. So the Pope was angry about that. He didn't like it being called the mother of all bombs.
Tough, that's what they call it.
You actually, I didn't know about it until you told me about it. Remember we were in the car? The mother of all bombs? I didn't know. That bomb, so it was basically like...
It's a non-nuclear bomb.
But how far down reaching was it? Because they were supposed to, like, destroy some caves or something like that?
It's supposed to destroy some, you know, ISIL, a.k.a. ISIS, captives, and it didn't work. And
it didn't work?
It didn't work.
Well,
they made false statements. They received false claims that it was ISIS, and it was not. It was.
Now, are you saying that because you hate Trump, or because that's actually what happened?
No, this is actually the facts.
The facts as you know it, based on...
It happened.
Oh, because somebody told you that. Okay, fine. So what I need to do is when I have a new guest on, and I actually have two today, but I didn't know the Cuba was going to be joining us, but it's fine.
The creature?
Yes, the creature. I didn't know the creature was joining us, so he'll just be jumping in and out and when he has ideas or thoughts or whatever. So we did bring in White America, and we did kind of plan for White America. So what I like to do, like I said, I like to have... the guests have a bunch of topics that they want to talk about, and I like to have them kind of lead the show a little bit the first time they're on, and then when they come on in the future, then I kind of just have whatever I want to talk about, or if they have ideas, they can bring them up.
So everyone needs to understand, I've known John for approximately 17 years at this point, and I
holy shit, yes, it's been that fucking long.
2000, like just about 2000. When I went into the theater, got a job with George. He asked me why I wanted a minimum wage job, and I said I work at a scout camp, and I'm really sick and tired of children. I want to yell at them and kick them out of the theater. And he said, "You're hired," and I was like, "All right," and yeah. You know, when I tried to quit...
So George hired you?
George hired me, and when I tried to quit, you dragged me back in the
Literally, I think. I was like, why are you doing this to me? That's so true.
Yup.
I actually think I did literally, like, drag you. I was like, no!
So I saw the you started to put up podcasts. I saw a thing on Facebook, and watched every single one of them. I need to clarify something. In your best customer service moment of all time, where you attacked... an individual.
Well, first of all,
hold on, no, let me finish. People need to understand this was in the middle of set. There was about 500 people in this area.
That's true.
I had sold this dude that icy.
Of course you fucking sold him. Of course White America sold him the fucking weapon.
Yep, and
the weapon of mass destruction, you bastard.
And he wanted a medium, and I wanted to get him a large.
Yeah, of course you did.
Yep.
We're gonna reiterate this story a little bit.
And you gotta understand, Uncle John over here was
Wait,
very upset about the icy getting chucked in his face. He actually, I watched this. He picked this guy up by his throat, carried him through a crowd of 500 people, okay, and dumped this guy out. And this guy started punching John.
Oh my God, that is so didn't happen.
And he's just looking down and like.
The only part of that story that's true so far is the fact that this guy is the guy that sold him the fucking slushie that ended up in my face.
And I was the one that watched it, witnessed this going on. I thought it was wonderful.
No,
you reiterated it as the best customer service and worst customer service.
Oh my God.
Relations experience I've ever come across.
Oh my God.
And I have literally sat in corporate offices and told higher ups about this, and their jaws dropped.
Don't listen to everything you hear about on the internet. Some of the stuff is just not true.
Fake news. We're going to get into that later.
Okay, so now we're gonna go into the next, the first topic, I should say, and just bear with us. This is the first time we're using our actual storyboard, which is White America. You know, they got to come in and shake things up.
You need to be organized, all right?
Right. So White America's cleaning up the show a little bit, and that's fine. I'm trying to get better at what we're doing
Insight
here.
resources.
And yeah, so you don't got to call me out online right now. You can just do that, when we're talking offline. All right, White America, what's up first? Go ahead.
Okay, so I want to go over some hot topics because you have a tendency to talk about the news first. And, I made you pull up rather than just straight, conservative, as one of my mortgage advisors at the place I work turned to me and said the Drudge Report is nothing more than a conservative rag, which I find that hilarious.
Well, hold on a second.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, regardless of whatever way you lean politically, the Drudge Report is just pulling up articles
from a conservative individual.
Fine, that's fine.
Yep.
But the information is the information. So
yes.
My thing is, we need to look at all information, as I've said at all other podcasts. Take in all information.
Okay.
And this is, it's semi-biased, but it's basically stuff that's just out there that he puts together.
And that's why I'm saying look up.
No, I'm referring to the guy that said it was just, he didn't like it or something.
He was crazy. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
So the hot topic this week that I think is really ridiculous is this entire Trump firing James Comey, the head of the FBI, or excuse me, former head of the FBI, where he came in and requested more funds for the Russian investigation against Trump during the campaign, and Trump turned around and fired him.
He's like, no, we're not doing that. Get out. You're dumb.
And within a few hours, Trump met with the same Russian ambassador that met with Mike Flynn.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, same Russian ambassador within a few hours.
That really happened?
Really happened. And today Trump, in his entire story of I fired him because of the Hillary emails, which is hilarious, came out and basically said, it doesn't matter what anyone advised me, I was just going to fire him anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Make America great again.
So I'm seeing a lot of things on news reports, especially the Democrats are flipping up, being like, "It's time to impeach him. Why haven't we impeached him?"
Based on him firing Flynn.
Hold on.
Not
the
Flynn.
further left you go, like let's say you go to like sites like Occupy Democrats, which they're if you watch them too long, your head starts to get hurt. But they're saying, why haven't we done it yet? More mainstream news sites are going, well, we need to really heavily investigate this. And then your conservative sides are, obviously being like...
All right, hold on. Let me slow you down for a second. Yeah. All right, so do you think there is... And I kind of know you, so I kind of know how you're going to answer this question. But do you think that this whole movement about getting rid of the president, impeaching him or whatever, is more so because they just don't like him, how he carries himself as a president? Or is it more like they can't believe he's president and we have to get rid of him? Like, in terms of what he's doing as president. Does it make sense, my question?
Yeah. You're basically, from my understanding, you're saying, are they wanting to get rid of him just...
Because he talks about grabbing pussies and they're like, all right, this guy got to go. Or is it because he's just not fit to be president?
I think it's definitely a factor of, they don't like his behavior. He's very gruff and, he definitely has some PR nightmare issues and is running the country like a reality show right now.
I can't argue with that.
Yeah. But I do not think he's going to get impeached.
I love when Cuba holds their chin and they're like, and people do that when they're like,
nonverbal communication. He's saying he's literally implying he's nothing to say.
No,
which is understanding from
interesting.
Cuba.
What I get from the chin grab is he's really like taking in the information and he's processing it. And he's like waiting for his moment to jump in and give his Cuba sense. What do you? Let me just. We'll keep going. So let me.
White America has a lot of things to say.
I'm quite sure White America does. We haven't had White America on yet, so I'm quite sure White America has plenty to say. Cuba, thoughts on Trump? Go. You're a very liberal-minded person, from what I've gathered, so I'm quite sure.
What do I think of Trump?
And don't go. He's an asshole. Like, just let me.
What is your?
Don't put it back on me. This is your spotlight. What are you talking about?
It's gonna go into something though.
What?
What is your stance on Trump, though?
Okay, I'll give you mine real quick. I mean, you kind of dodged there, but it's fine. So what we did was...
You running for office?
And I know, right? This is how you pivot, right? Okay, so initially when I heard Trump was running, I was like, what the fuck? This is fucking carnival, fucking reality TV bullshit, right? So then I started thinking about it, and I started seeing how he carried himself in the debates and all that kind of stuff, and how, like, He wasn't following a script. He was kind of doing his own thing, and that made me think, like, man, this guy might just do his own thing and not follow what's been done before and actually do what's beneficial to the people. So, and also, and there's two sides to it, but he had his own money, meaning that he didn't necessarily need to be influenced by outside forces. I'm getting to that. So, so I kind of got on this bandwagon of thinking, man, this guy might just change something. He might just not be one of these career politicians that are fucking not really giving a shit about the people. Now, one of the things that people get on me about is...
Oh, John, you're a dreamer.
Is it because
you know what? I am a dreamer. That's true. I dream of an America where the government actually has the best interests of the people in mind. That's very true. I would agree with that.
That shit ended in 1812, by the way.
It was... Oh, yeah, good. That's a good date.
Yeah.
And it's like the Constitution, like it's like null and void since fucking I think it was 39, but don't quote me.
No, it's not 39. It's actually
is it sooner. Like as soon as it was written, is that what it's null and void?
1861.
Okay, so we were on this illusion of the Constitution and our rights and all that. And I was like, you better pay attention. What we need is a Hitler-esque revolution. Did I say that out loud?
No,
you said
no.
Hitler.
Hold on. So back to his question. So, So I jumped on the bandwagon, and so like a lot of people did. Oh, he's look how he's talking to everybody. He's gonna look out for the people and all this kind of stuff. But what we forgot was this guy was already in the establishment grip, if you will. This guy he's already dealt with billions of dollars. So that means that he has had influences from these forces that we are the things that we are afraid of. Right when it comes to big business and corporations running the country and all that, he was already part of that. So this delusion that we, made for ourselves out of desperation because we wanted change, that he was going to do something different, it got us in a situation where, clearly based on what he's done already and what he continues to do, that's not the case. It's just not. Would I have wrote it differently or rolled the dice differently? No, I would not have, only because I wanted to take the chance that this guy might do something different. That's it. That's how I feel about Trump. So I think he's really letting down a lot of people that believed in him.
You think it's still happening?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's going to continue to happen. Is more so what I'm getting at. There are some people that have this idea that we have to let some time pass, not just 100 days.
You do
hold on. Let me finish. We have to let some time pass so that we can let him play the politic game of giving and taking, so we can see the end result of it. But the problem is, if this guy is truly as dangerous as he appears to be, a lot of people will suffer as a result of us allowing that time for him to achieve the goals that he claims that he wants to achieve.
Do you understand where the concept of the 100 days came from?
Go ahead. What are you talking about?
The 100 days came from FDR passing the New Deal. Now, the vast majority of the things that FDR put in the New Deal were overturned, except for Social Security and a couple things like that. But of the almost every and his social programs like the Hoover Dam, but all of his programs that he put in during the Great Depression, put in during the first 100 days of his first 3 terms.
Oh, so that became like
that was the standard that by every single president was measured. Of look, if FDR can get all this nonsense taken care of to fix the Depression at the time, then every single president has 100 days to see how they match up to him.
Interesting. That's and that you don't want to be really going up against FDR because he kind of achieved some pretty decent things. So you don't want to that kind of the bar is set pretty high. So you didn't answer the question, so we're going back to you now. If you're getting a little not sure if you want to answer the question, you can back out. It's fine. We'll keep going, but we're gonna put you back on the spot a little bit. We're gonna ask just your basic. Now you don't got to get into any geopolitical tirade about what you feel about Trump, but you can just tell us your gut feelings about the president. And you can feel whatever you want to say. You can say it's fine. This isn't a place where we can say whatever we want. It doesn't matter. Fuck whatever these people say in the comments.
I only have 2 words for Trump.
I like something more insightful, but that's fine.
Complete nuisance.
Nuisance?
Nuisance.
Mm.
He's a joke. He went from a billionaire to just telling people what to do,
You think he's a billionaire?
Oh.
You realize that man went and got a loan off of the fact that he felt like he was worth $10 million. I feel like I'm worth $5 billion. I need a loan, John. Come on.
Hold on a second. Hey, there got to be some more to it than just that.
No,
you can't just go in there and say, "I think I'm worth this," and give me some money. No,
his net worth on any given day is based upon his feelings, which is why do you think he doesn't want to show you his tax returns? Because he's not actually worth that much.
I have heard that he's not worth that much.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
part. But that doesn't really bother me. What more bothers me is the policies and things that are
or
being
his
paid.
ties.
Yes, that too. And I want to know, because everybody's on this thing about Russia. Do you think Russia hacked our elections? Do you honestly believe that?
I believe yes.
Absolutely.
And why do you believe that? What makes you think that?
Because it can happen. Anything is possible.
I mean, okay, it can happen, sure, but I want to see.
It goes back to all the way to the Watergate
evidence.
scandal.
Okay, hold on. I want to see. What did you say?
The Watergate scandal.
Explain. You can't drop this shit without me questioning you. How do you tie that up? What?
Because
Cuba, you're acting up now. Let's see what you got. Go.
I'm acting up. Anything.
Watergate and Nixon? What?
You do anything to win.
Okay,
You
I'll
would
allow
do
it.
anything
Oh
to
shit.
win.
Okay, Cuba, I see you.
You know, he's not wrong. In
No,
this.
he's not. You know what? I'm gonna shut the fuck up, Cuba. I'm sorry.
Victory at all costs. But honestly,
You know what? I respect that.
the evidence I'm going to use.
Okay, go ahead.
For it was during the campaign. It was right toward the end of the campaign when Russia actually was threatening the United States to say if Hillary Clinton was elected, that we would go to war.
War was upon us.
And
Well-
they actually came out and said that look, if you elect Hillary, we will be at war in the first 3 months.
So what you're saying is, because Russia said that, it influenced people to vote for Trump because they were afraid of Russia going to war as a result of them voting for Hillary.
It could have easily influenced some people.
I need something more.
I
than
think
that.
it's because she's just a female.
Because if people are that easily swayed about who becomes president of the United States, that's a damn
no,
shame.
no.
And I know better. I know better. Look, listen. Generally speaking, I think the vast majority of people are just fucking sheep, and they'll just go with.
Here's the thing. When Trump was campaigning, he went into areas like the coal belt in Pennsylvania and said, look, I'm going to give you your jobs back. I'm going to give coal jobs back. I'm going to go in and I want to give you jobs back.
Coal.
Coal
Talk
jobs.
about going backwards.
That's funny. But Hillary went in there and said, vote for me because I'm better than Trump. Okay.
What's your explanation now?
Now,
Yeah, I want to know. Okay, what does that mean?
what does
Let
that
me
mean?
hear it.
Well, okay, people are inherently self-centered. What is going to benefit myself in response to everyone else out there?
Okay.
So if you're going to do something for me, you got my vote.
Well, I mean, isn't that
If you're gonna
isn't
give-
that what Democrats do anyway?
Well,
Isn't
no,
that-
no, no. If you're going to give an existential reason,
That's why people vote for Democrats. I hope you know that.
Whoa! If you're going to give an existential reason to give someone your vote, and the other person says, "I'm going to put food on your table," who are you going to vote for? The person that says, "You can
okay,
starve, but
all right,
you'll be good."
I'll play that game. So if the person that says I'm going to put food on your table actually does that, but then follows up with other things that are not beneficial to you and uses that as a means to get your votes, are they really doing you a favor? Are they really helping you when they take it past the plate? Because a lot of these people have ties to business, business ties, specifically Hillary Clinton. That these things are not beneficial to the people, but because they're getting free stuff, the meal on the plate as you so described. But then she goes behind their backs and does all these other things that are not good. But because they got the meal on the plate, they're good. And they just let me go get Hillary. I'll get me some benefits and welfare and all this kind of shit. And unfortunately,
Isn't ignorance bliss?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And that's one of the things that I've definitely. You pulled me out of the attack on Hillary. That's funny. But anyway. That's one of the things that I bring up about people and allowing things to happen around them because in their ignorance is bliss. And when we talk about the things that are a little bit above what the average person knows, and when it comes to like this idea of what's conspiracy now, I'm not mad at anybody that wants to stay in the bubble of ignorance, because I'm at a point now where I believe that the average person is not going to do what needs to be done in order to change the things that happen. Now, when I made a comment about a Hitler-esque revolution, right? And you scoffed at that, and I understand it, all that kind of stuff.
Well,
but
it's kind of happening, but that's besides the point.
but what I mean to say is Hitler allowed his people and himself to resist a system that was pounding his people into oblivion, the Jewish banking system. Hold on, you'll get to it. Hold on, I'll get back to you. Hold on, I'll let you speak. Give me a second. I don't want to lose my thought. I don't want to lose my thought. Hold on.
Because I've actually taken courses on this.
All right, go ahead then.
That Hitler allowed them to go into the Jewish banking system. So you're downplaying.
What do you mean allow them to go into Jewish? What are you talking about?
No, that's what you just said.
No, you misunderstood that.
You
You misunderstood what I was saying then.
Okay.
What I was saying was Hitler saw the impact of the Jewish system on his people. That's what I said.
No.
Hold on, let me finish. In regardless of how you feel about it, I'm making a point. So Hitler, what he did was, listen, there's a lot of information out there that is contrary to everything that people have been taught about Hitler. Now, people have a tendency to want to believe what they've been programmed to believe since day 2 of their lives in school and all that kind of stuff. So it's very hard for people to come away from what they've been taught to believe. And I don't know what's true. I'm not going to sit here and act like I've done the research on what's true and what's not true. But the point I want to make is Hitler resisted something that was not beneficial to his people, right? So all I'm saying is what needs to happen here in the United States is we need to get away from this Federal Reserve banking system that is keeping us at heel and allowing the United States to be used as a tool for an agenda that's not beneficial to the world. That's what I'm talking about. I don't necessarily condone anything that Hitler did or didn't do. All I'm saying was he pulled his people out of a Jewish-controlled banking system that was crushing his people. He did that. But now, go ahead, make your point.
Okay. The rise of the Third Reich occurred because of the fall of Germany during World War I, the institution of the Weimar Republic from the League of Nations that basically said you have these reparations to be able to pay back for World War I because it is your fault. Okay? Mm-hmm. And since they lost the war, they had to pay that back. They put in a governmental system, that allowed...
Is that the Treaty of Versailles or whatever? Is that? Or that's something else?
It's something different.
Yeah. That's
okay, I crossed the shit.
And if you want my source,
I have really shitty recall.
The book's called Polyarchy by Robert Dahl.
Okay. Now here, but no, go ahead.
So they set up this government system in Germany that allowed third parties to gain more power and make coalitions. Now, with the economic disparities put on by Germany, and then the fall of the world economy during the Great Depression, German cash is worthless. And this actually ties into another point with what's going on in places like India and Venezuela right now.
No.
You can go and show up with truckloads of freaking cash to buy a loaf of bread. Okay,
that's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
So what do you think? I'm getting hit with a bunch of thoughts, and I don't want to interrupt you.
All these people that have worthless cash, because their economy is destroyed by outside forces. Primarily, at that point, it was Germany. Not for Germany, it was France and England that instituted these things on them that completely destroyed their economy. The world, banking system destroyed their economy, and I will agree with that.
Okay.
But he played upon their emotions rather than their reason to say, "I'm going to pull you out of this."
Yeah,
I'm going to make things great again.
Okay, let's be realistic about this though, and unfortunately, I don't want this to turn into a. Was Hitler right or Hitler wrong?
I never said if Hitler.
No,
right
I'm not. I don't like. I feel like the direction of the conversation is going to go that way because we just had a show about this. The show you didn't watch,
the one I
was
didn't watch.
just about this very topic. So I don't want to make it go into that. But the point I was making was, and we're going to pull away from it. Where does this head? Because I don't want to do that today.
Right.
So the point I was making was we need to have that level of resistance when it comes to the banking system here in America. Because if you're paying, you work in the banking system.
Yeah, yes, I do.
So if you're paying attention, you can see how inflation and the interest rates and all that kind of shit are fucking people over. Now, that doesn't mean you can't work within the system and all that, but from an overall.
What do you mean by the interest rates fucking people over?
Okay, so it should be. I borrow money for my business, right? And so to borrow money, I want to pay, let's say, 2% to get that money back. Exactly. Why is it fucking 10,000% interest, and then but you get my point though. Like when you get a credit card or something like that, the interest rate's like 24% now.
No, not 24%.
Yeah, I've got credit cards. Yes, they are. You can sit there and tell me that, but
I'm
telling you.
We need to have some.
But the point is, those type of stuff, those things are happening, and you can look at the housing crisis and how they used that system to fuck people over, and then there was a crash as a result of them taking advantage of people that are not able to pay these fucking loans.
Okay, hold on. No.
I'm so glad you're here because you worked in this stuff, so you have a perspective on it.
Oh yes, absolutely. So here's the thing.
So let me just hold on before you get into it, and I hate to keep cutting you off because I lose my points when I don't make them. But so do you think our economic system that's based on the Federal Reserve, which is a privately owned institution, do you think that's beneficial to the people in an overall sense, or is it more beneficial to the 1%, we'll just say? You get my point. Go.
I think it is beneficial to people because rather than having it on a fixed currency and allowing huge depressions to occur when that currency no longer has the value backed by it to be able to transact.
Well,
value
it's just
not available.
Okay, but value, they pull us off of the gold standard. That's your value. So
Okay.
now, what is our value?
So-
what is our
so-
value right now?
so
Nothing.
Hold on a second.
I just print more paper and fill it and throw it into the economy because that's happened.
Yeah. It's
No,
it's
that's
called
terrible.
The faith. But
It's gonna crash.
Okay. Oh, John.
Go ahead.
Think about this, okay? You got a bar of gold, right?
Uh-huh.
You need to go buy gas.
Yeah.
How you transacting?
Free gold.
Free
gas.
gas. So all right. So obviously
gas.
nothing has value unless people put value on it.
Exactly.
Right? So
your
listen.
monetary system-
Hold on. Let me finish. You asked the question. Let me finish. So I guarantee you, if I walk into a fucking a gas station with a
Sunoco.
bar of gold,
Uh-huh.
an actual bar of gold, and I'm like, all right, you know what?
Worth approximately $500,000. Yeah.
$500,000. Now, what I'll grant you is the person behind the register can't possibly process the idea of that. That I'll give you. But
No,
that,
you can't
but
get it. They can't process. a
okay,
transaction.
whatever.
What are you going to take a knife and shave off
what
the
you're
gold?
saying suggests that there is no other way, and there is.
Okay, and what's the other way? Bartering.
Okay.
So here's my
let's-
shoe. I would like a sandwich.
I don't, but here's the thing. I want your fucking shoe.
No.
I want something of
Here's the
value.
concept.
Is that shoe gold?
You know, there's a reason why the United States got off the gold standard because
Okay.
they went into this idea of the petrodollar, which allowed them to trade in oil only with the petrodollar, which is printed by the United States, which is a method of control for everybody needs oil.
Is something valuable that everyone currently wants.
Yes,
to
but
Yes.
gold was something that every country could use
Uh-huh.
to determine the value of their currency.
Okay, so I have another question.
So
for you.
ultimately,
And I'm-
when us maybe potentially not having the oil, we now have control over the oil and oil system because we now are the only ones that print dollars.
So let me give you a contrast to this.
Go ahead.
Okay, you have measuring tape around, yes? What is a foot?
12 inches.
No, what is a foot?
12 inches.
Your shoe.
What makes that determination of 12 inches?
Yeah, somebody told me it was 12 inches.
Yeah,
all right.
do you realize what made up the original foot?
Go ahead.
One of the kings of
Yeah,
England
hopefully I can.
said my
yes,
foot
I
is
remember
your-
that.
yeah,
yes,
exactly,
I remember. Yes.
Okay, so you're basically giving an arbitrary measurement to a particular item to say it's worth this.
Okay,
So what money is, okay, is the number associated to goods.
Okay, let me take it. Let me approach it from a different standpoint then.
Uh-huh.
So, do you think that because ultimately everybody could be rich if you're just printing money and put it into the system?
No, you can't.
So, okay, all right. So, do you think because that's what you're doing?
You have to agree on the value amongst.
Okay, so my point here is that. So, do you think that this system we have, where we just print more money and throw it into the system, do you think that there's going to come a point where it's going to collapse? Because to me, it's pretty. It seems black and white when it comes to the idea that I just print more money and it has no real value.
Have you ever heard of a market correction?
Go ahead. You don't
No,
got it.
like I actually can't discuss a lot of those things on it, but the idea of a market correction is the.
But you get my point.
I understand your
Yes.
point. That's what the market correction is for.
Go ahead. You got it.
So
Can you explain that a little bit? What that is? So that the viewers and I can understand what you're talking
Well,
about. You can't throw something out there to try to help me understand, and then you can't talk about it.
A market correction when it occurs, and mind you, I can't give you
All right, do what
investment
you gotta
advice
do.
or anything along those lines. So and you know my statements do not reflect that of any of the institutions that I have or will ever work with. I have to, no, you.
I know. I get it. It just
Okay.
sounds funny because
It-
we
yeah.
talked about Godzilla and then George did a Toho. This is no.
But in any case, okay. So the market correction occurs when things are overvalued, and you need to be able to bring them back into perspective of what their actual value is.
Who determines that? Go ahead. I'm sorry. I jumped in.
Who determines?
Is it the 1% who's rich that makes those decisions based on their benefit, or do they do those decisions based on what's best for everybody? Or that's the problem
that
I
just
have.
occurs within the system.
Okay,
So for instance, the housing bubble. You know how that occurred.
I do.
So go for it.
No, this is your
No.
area.
If you're gonna tell me,
All right, so they talked about. All right, so basically they were. Let's say you wanted a house, right? Cuba, right? Now, you. Because you couldn't afford the house, it doesn't matter because if you sign the paperwork that says you can afford to pay for a house, somebody's getting paid regardless, right? But ultimately, when you can't pay for the house, you're going to default. Eventually, you're going to default. Now, when you take that same idea and you do it across the board to a lot of people, obviously there's going to be a point where... Go ahead.
Okay. So you have
I'll set you
relaxed banking regulations, right?
Uh-huh.
Allowing people the banks to lend more.
I knew
So Cuba over here goes.
I knew you would jump in.
Cuba over here goes and buys a house that he can't afford. Because he was
because the market. I mean, because the agencies that knows he can't afford it knows they can profit off of it. Go.
Well, no, actually, the government relaxed regulations.
But they shouldn't have done that.
Well,
All right, go ahead. Whatever happened, happened.
I'm a fan of regulations. Okay.
All right, go ahead.
That's just that's what it is.
Okay.
My favorite one is Regulation E, and then there's another one, Regulation Z. I could go into them for hours. But and Regulation Z is from the 70s. That's my favorite one. But D is from the 30s. But in any case, so you buy a house, right? Regardless of whether or not you can afford it, that house is then appraised at a certain value. Now that house is appraised a little bit higher because of backdoor dealing, where it's a person says to an appraiser, which is actually part of what Dodd-Frank is about, of going and saying, hey, increase the value of it. Then that goes on the books. Now, once your house is valued at that, similar houses then increase their value because that house was sold as that. So people turn around and get
what a crock of shit.
Home equity based upon
what a crock of fucking shit. My point is, there's people that deal with this stuff on a grander scale that took advantage of it.
Yep.
And that should not have happened, but it did.
Yes.
Did you see that was a movie with Steve Carell? What the fuck was the name of that movie? Damn it, you would love it. Oh, it was all about the housing crisis. You would fucking love it.
I've probably seen it, but in any case, that happened, and you had market correction with the bubble. That stuff is what it is. That's based upon the output that the economy can do and things along those lines, and it goes really deep into it. And anyway, so moving on.
No, we could. Yeah, I saw you getting into your baking stuff. You almost went into like a fucking. All right, so we're gonna try to take another topic here. We kind of got sidetracked to our main discussion. So it looks like Comey's up. Is he up next, based on what I'm seeing?
No, we just went over through that, and the handling emails, Russ Ambassador, and we started talking about Venezuela for a minute. And,
Jesus!
And Venezuela is in a world of hurt.
Can you
right
explain?
Now.
Do you? I mean, I don't want to put a lot of pressure on you, but can you explain what happened in Venezuela and why? And also, could that happen here?
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
So here's the fun thing, right? Venezuela was a huge oil export a few years ago.
Yes.
And oil was $100 a barrel, and it was.
And Venezuela, who's the leader there? What's his name?
Chavez.
Chavez, yes. Yeah. Yep.
So Venezuela started exporting oil heavily and backed their entire economy on it, and backed their economy on oil being
Valero, right?
What's that?
Valero, that's one of their. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But they backed it around $100 a barrel kind of thing. So they started exporting, and all of a sudden, we stepped in and said, hey, we're going to do oil shales, which is a horrendous thing, if you understand what fracking is. But,
yeah, I know what fracking is.
I mean, I like the plastic idea of what, turning plastic into oil, but that's a whole nother thing. Jersey's going to become a major oil source in the future. But beyond that, so with the drop in the value of a barrel of oil, their economy collapsed. And since it was based primarily
hold on. Was it the drop came from an excess of oil from other sources?
Primarily the United States, because the United States played their card of.
So was this
more oil
intentional,
than anyone else in the world.
Or was it? Do you think it was like intentional? Because
for the United States to put oil out in the world, no. People in the United States started complaining that gas was.
Well, I know there was a point. Europe. Well, I know the point. There was a point where gas.
European had it went during the 2000s. Okay, early 2000s, gas in Europe was $4 a liter.
Wow.
A liter. And then all of a sudden in the United States we start getting butthurt because gas starts becoming $4 a gallon. We've enjoyed extraordinarily low oil prices because we were a country that was very rich in it.
And we don't appreciate them, I tell you that.
Yeah. In any case. So with the United States and a lot of people going, oh, well, we have economic disparity because, we can't afford getting to work we need cheaper oil. So they said, drill, baby, drill. We need to be able to get out there, get more oil. You start having a major production of oil within the United States. We started tapping our strategic reserve, which is hilarious because that was our card to play to, hold over everyone else when they ran out of oil. But that's besides the point.
So then why do you... All right. Whenever I hear stuff like that, I'm like, where are the people that have the brains that would make the decisions about stuff like that? Like, it doesn't... You and I would know to be able to play that card and hold on to it.
You had the mass of the American people, specifically the Republican Party, that said we want to be able to do this to make profits for ourselves, because you had those major oil companies sit there and go, we need to make more money off of oil rather than diversifying their energy output and going into alternative energy sources, which was intelligent. BP is actually one of those big companies that started diversifying, and then obviously they had their gigantic spill, which kind of crushed them. But that's besides the point. So Venezuela started running out of major supplies. Their grocery stores started to run out of food, and one of the big signs that you have a major problem in your country is when your grocery stores have very limited choice in terms of their products. So when you have one product filling up multiple aisles, you have a problem.
All right, we're gonna sidetrack a little bit.
I have
here,
a little question.
All right. Oh, Cuba
little
pipes
opinion.
in. All right. Oh, go ahead, Cuba. What do you got?
Cigars are okay.
Long as it's relevant to Cuba speaks. What do you think about you, Mr.
This is two
Castro?
opinion questions. Do you guys think feces bombs are a biochemical weapon?
Why are you bringing that up? Go, fucking Cuba.
Okay.
I love it. Go. Hit me with it.
This has just been updated.
Let me hear it. Go.
9 hours ago. This is also the chaos in Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
Demonstrators are using feces as
shit.
bombs.
And they're considered chemical weapons.
Well, yeah, you can get
They're
really
actually
sick by
called.
it.
Yeah.
They're actually called poo-poo tough cocktails.
Yeah.
Poo-poo tough cocktails.
Yes.
Venezuela's fucked, isn't it?
Yes.
So do you shouldn't we? Because we're like the big.
But Trump could say Venezuela is.
What'd you say about my hero and my Lord and Savior? I'm kidding.
Donald
My
Trump
God,
Jr.
I can't believe he's president. To be honest with you,
can save Venezuela.
he says that,
And
or
he can save it.
all right. Well, that brings up an interesting
I'll bite.
point.
How?
That brings up an interesting point. What do you think needs to happen in Venezuela in order for them to recover?
For them to recover?
Recover, yes, because they're in a bad place. I see on your points there. They have no economy, no government, and mass protests. Obviously,
Well, they have no faith in their government, and the government's not really doing anything.
Do they need Hitler? I'm kidding.
No, one ruler that's going to sit there and say, "Hey, I'm going to solve all your problems," throughout history has never really worked.
So what do you think needs to happen
to fix all their issues? I mean, it's very complicated, but the easiest thing is to start producing things. Build back up your infrastructure and have actual exports and industry to be able to make goods.
Yeah, but if the people are on a point where they can't even get bread and basic things,
Guess what? You got to start growing your own food.
yes, I would agree with that. But they're gonna need somebody to bring them together and be able to.
It's called band together.
Give them hope that they can actually come rise above this crisis.
Guess what?
But how would they do that if they're so much corrupt?
Can we do that? I like. You and I can't dictate Venezuela? Is it because we don't speak Spanish?
Well, no. It's going to be an internal person that has to do that. If you have an external source, they're going to start banning against you.
Well, what if we had Robin do that?
No.
What do you mean? No, she's kind of charismatic. We don't do what you're about to do. We don't. Nobody knows.
Bring her into that.
She can save Venezuela. What the fuck? Give her some credit.
No, look. Here's the thing. If you're really going to save your own country, the biggest thing is to be able to export stuff. The only reason that we have an economic dominance over the rest of the
I just wanted to say Robin's name. Go ahead.
Yeah, right. The only reason we have economic dominance over the rest of the world is because we blew everyone else up in World War II.
Sikucha!
Technically, we only blew up one country.
No, we flattened the world.
Listen, it was bad.
And in my eyes, we only blew up Japan.
And the funny thing about that whole thing is
Okay.
What did he say? I missed it. What did he say?
No. We nuked Japan. You had firebombs that were destroying cities by whole bombing raids.
Yeah, it was bad. I
saw flattening
stuff.
whole cities. If you ever go to Europe, okay,
Germany,
you can go to a city and see all this new modern construction. All right. The fun thing is, every once in a while you'll find an old building. What you realize is all of these new constructions are from the Marshall Plan, tying into one of your previous things of how do you stop the rise of craziness and giving good into the world. Well, the Marshall Plan did that. Reconstruction almost did that during the 1800s, but they kind of killed Abraham Lincoln. Okay, so the Marshall Plan. Do you understand what that was?
No, you don't got it. Don't ask me what it was because what I want you to do is explain it for people that don't know what it is.
So the Marshall Plan was
I don't know what the hell that is.
Yeah, right. Or
but I do want you to explain it to everybody. So
millions of dollars, and most likely billions in terms of today's standards, into the economy of Europe to rebuild it, to give them infrastructure, to give them services.
This is after we destroyed them?
This is after we destroyed them.
Okay.
To be able to prevent another rise of a serious dictator like Hitler, which happened at the end of World War One, where we basically said, we're going to destroy you, and we're going to destroy you, leave you there, now you owe us money. At the end of World War II, we went in and said, we're going to rebuild your infrastructure on our dime, okay? And here's a version of government. Eisenhower put it in place. It's called the basic government in Germany, which is actually helping third parties build up support in terms of how they structure, their elections, which is one of the other topics for a little bit later.
Okay.
But it allowed for your people to have equal representation and multiple different views to enter into your political process without one minority viewpoint taking over. And then when you give people the ability to make food, you give them the ability not to destroy everything.
You empower them.
Yes. So
because food is a basic need, and obviously if you can have food, you can move on to other things.
To really save places like Venezuela, okay, is what some research have done in a place called the Loose Plateau. Okay, what they did out there, and this isn't China, okay, and I believe it's Loose is spelled Loose, but I might be a little bit wrong on that one. What they did is a 10-year project where they told the farmers there, we're going to pay you not to goat herd. We're going to pay you to plant indigenous crops at the tops and the bottoms of mountains, and then we're going to pay you to terrace the hills. Over the course of 10 years, they turned a desert environment, and look this up so you can see what I'm talking about. They turned a desert environment into a lush green place.
What am I putting in?
The Loose.
Loose.
Loose Plateau.
Plateau.
Okay. They went from arid to they had rivers. They had a lot of food.
Oh, keep talking.
Okay, and they had a lot of abundance, and this is only after 10 years. So one of the princesses in Jordan turned around and said, I'm going to do this in one of my valleys in Jordan. See the difference in terms of those two pictures? One where it's completely arid, that's before the project, and everything else is after the project.
Oh, okay.
You see that?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So they did this in Jordan.
Holy shit, that's impressive.
And when they stopped the farmers from goat herding in Jordan and said, we're just going to let this stay how it is and do some indigenous plants, it created a river in Jordan.
Really?
In the middle of the desert. Agriculture has messed up the planet. There is I've been doing a little bit of research on this, but there's actual evidence that we created as humanity the Sahara Desert.
Really?
Yes.
This is interesting.
By our farming practices, because our farming practices are a monoculture that don't allow for your indigenous plants to hold in moisture in a particular area. So if you destroy that kind of ecosystem, you farm it, eventually you're going to eliminate all your nutrients in that section and cause a desertification of your entire area. And when you have rain, rather than it soaking into the loam in the soil, it's just going to wash away.
Interesting.
And it will cause desert
so,
once you start having that.
So you're saying that
expand.
the extreme reaction of the planet to human beings doing what they're doing was the Sahara Desert?
Well, yeah, we
potentially
we created
holy
the whole Sahara
fucking
Desert.
shit! That's ridiculously huge to think about.
Because the thing is, you could have grasslands in a very low water environment. And we saw this in the Midwest during the Dust Bowl of the 30s.
When you think about if you're creating an area where there's no food and barely any life, there's no surviving that sort of stuff.
Right.
So
you're going to get angry.
Exactly.
You're going to start fighting for other people's resources.
Right.
But if you feed people enough, guess what's going to happen?
Right. They're going to prosper.
Which is why we have...
You become John Winfrey. No, I'm kidding.
You said your last name, then, sir.
Horace. That's my last name is John Horace.
Right.
When
Harkonnen. Stop.
Harkonnen.
Stop. Open.
No, it's closed.
Closed.
Anyway. You said, don't do that. That's funny. All right, we almost lost it, but we're back.
So yeah. So when you go and provide people those resources to survive, they're going to become complacent and then go, okay, what else can I get for myself? And you have that because people are self-centered because they don't have those needs for certain things like food or shelter or clothing, which your social programs that are now in place, okay, allow people to get things like WIC and, which is your food stamps, and allows people to have full bellies. And when you have a person have a full belly, why the hell do they need to go out and, march in the streets?
Yeah, but you also create, in a place where you can go out and achieve your own food or whatever like that.
Uh-huh.
So like for instance here, you can go out and get those things yourself. So when you have those things readily available in terms of WIC and food stamps and all that kind of stuff, you kind of create a environment of people that are become dependent on that. So if I were trying to lead towards this control of people through that sort of thing, I would push for that sort of stuff where people are, you know what I mean? So
people are taken care of, so they don't have to worry about.
So they don't have to, right?
And
so
you don't
now they're completely dependent on me as the provider for the things that you need,
and you have complete control.
Right. So and unfortunately,
here's the messed up part: when you have complete control like that, and you make it economically viable to stay in control, then you're not going to have anyone want to get off of that. So here's one of the points that before getting to any of the actual things I brought.
That happens when we're podcasting,
and we're like
man.
44 minutes in.
That happens when we're podcasting. We start talking and it just.
But here's the thing. Okay?
Cuba.
And I've actually had conversations with heavily conservative people. I mean, like scarily heavily conservative people that Trump is the best person in the world.
I don't believe that.
That's retarded.
No, I'm serious. Like
that's retarded.
They're out there.
He thinks he's Jesus.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a whole different conversation.
Here's my thought, right? If you are going to say, if you go out and get a job, work 40 hours a week, you're gonna make this much money.
That's me.
But if you stay home and do nothing, you make more. So as a person who's
there was a point where I was on unemployment,
uh-huh.
and that very thing happened. If I actually worked, compared to what I was getting on unemployment, I was better off staying on unemployment. And it shouldn't be that way because it reinforces the idea of people wanting to stay on unemployment.
Exactly, that's the point. When you give economic incentives toward a particular thing, people are going to take those economic incentives and run with it.
I'm not mad
at
that.
So if you're going to have the standard of living for things like welfare be higher than your minimum wage, people are never going to go out and get jobs.
All right, I'm going to sidetrack just a little bit.
Yep.
What do you think about the current level of the minimum wage? Do you think it should be much higher? What do you think it's right? What do you think about that?
I absolutely think it should be much higher.
And what do you think is a cutoff?
What, saying it's
the amount,
it's a fair amount.
Yeah, fair wage based on inflation.
I think that an individual should be able to work 40 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which is what the labor movement throughout the 19th century fought for.
Yep.
And survive on having enough space for yourself, like a 1-bedroom apartment kind of thing.
Not supporting a family. We're talking about an individual.
No luxury items, just enough to be able to go to work.
Now wait, hold on. When you say luxury, are you talking about car, phone? To me, those are at a point where we're not luxury.
If it's a transportation to get to work, it's not a luxury. It's a
okay,
necessity.
I just want to establish that. Go ahead.
A phone, yes, is a luxury. Your computer is a luxury.
Well, now there aren't pay phones anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't quite. I mean, that's why they have like Obama phone.
I'm sorry.
It's called a Trump phone now.
Oh, it's called Trump phone now.
Trump phone now.
Whoa.
Cuba.
Unless you need to have.
No, I'm okay with the government providing a basic phone. You don't need internet and all that kind of shit, but just the ability to be able to call jobs and have them call you back. I'm okay with that only because there are no more pay phones, and how are you going to receive? Like we're in a cell phone era now, realistically. But yeah, I know what you're getting at, and I to a point I agree with you. But I think phones now, you need a basic cell phone, basic
flip phone. That's just
okay. So phone, so a phone, car,
food.
Yeah, we'll give you food. We'll give you some food stamps. But then
shelter.
After that, did you say shelter?
Shelter.
Oh, shelter.
You need a place to live. You can't be a barbarian.
Well, I mean, what ends up happening is
what
ends up happening is when you're in a shelter, obviously you don't want to be there. But when you're in a shelter,
no, not shelter. I'm saying shelter as in a house.
No, I know. I'm with you. What I'm saying is, if you're in a shelter though, you can survive and get those and be able to get a job to move out of the shelter.
Right.
So therefore, your housing doesn't need to be provided. You can actually get to a point where you can do that yourself.
So I actually last year I calculated this for one of our tellers to figure out what it would take to provide those things, including halfway decent health insurance, auto insurance, because it's required by law to have.
Did you say health insurance?
Yeah, that's a whole.
All right, look.
But I'm saying just the basic necessities of the bills that a person expects to have. I'm not talking about life insurance or anything along those lines. I'm just taking the basics, and it's about $18 an hour you need to survive.
Okay.
So I've heard a lot of people give flack to.
This is a single person.
This is a single person.
Okay.
And
that's
in this area.
That's in New York.
In this area.
Because we all know the standard of living in New York is astronomical. Is New York and high California?
That's in the Hudson Valley, man.
Okay. So you're upping it for the city. You're saying.
No, I'm saying $18 for Hudson Valley.
No, what I'm saying is, if you move to the city,
it's going to be
we're
more.
going up.
Yeah, oh yeah, because things.
You know what? That number sounds right.
Now here's the messed up part, right?
Okay.
People give a lot of flack for the food service workers going out and being like, we want $15 an hour, and then people are like, oh, EMTs, they don't make that amount. Look, here's the thing: they went out and did striking. They put their jobs on the line to go and get a better wage, which has happened multiple times during our history. Mm-hmm. It's perfectly acceptable to do that.
I totally agree.
And if you're going to be
especially in the case of, and what comes to mind is obviously McDonald's. That's the big one that people talk about. Now, hold on. I'm sorry. The profits of McDonald's can absolutely sustain an increase of all their workers on the level of $15 an hour.
Yeah,
their bottom line.
I mean,
obviously,
take a pay cut.
Yeah, stop it. You make so much money. Cut it out. You're just being greedy.
Yes.
And that doesn't mean that you're supposed to go out and expect to be able to raise a family on McDonald's. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is...
Well, that's what's happening now.
But that's not what it should be. I don't agree with that.
Look. Okay? You know, you're going to have some people that work at a place like McDonald's that make more than enough, so when you go in to get your burger at 10 o'clock in the morning, or, you know, whatever the hell time you're going to go, that's outside of school hours, so kids can be in school, that they should be able to make more than enough money to survive.
I agree with that.
And if you want to make that your career choice, fine, whatever. But you're in food service at that point.
You should not be able to raise a family on that. That I don't agree with.
No, absolutely. Because
it's not a career job. It's supposed to be something that you do after school. Some fucking high school kids,
I'm
whatever.
talking about the person that's going to be serving your ass during lunchtime. Not the person that's after school. That's called a part-time job, okay?
Yeah, but you're not supposed to go into McDonald's expecting to be able to raise a family.
People
unless you're a management.
People have worked, yeah, and what's your point?
No, I don't agree with that. I don't think people should go to McDonald's expecting to be able to and consider McDonald's a career, so therefore I should be paid as if it was a career job. I don't agree with that. You're flipping fucking burgers. And obviously, when you get into all the details of it, you're on the management end, there's more to it than that, but you shouldn't be going to a McDonald's expecting to be able to raise a family. I don't agree with that. I don't. Now, that doesn't mean that I feel that McDonald's shouldn't be paying a minimum of $15 an hour and the reason being is because their profits are so ridiculous. It's all a matter of corporate greed in this instance. Yes, the workers there should be paid a minimum of $15 an hour. That I have no argument with. But when you look at it from the standpoint of it being a career job where you're able to raise a family from one income, no, I don't agree with that. McDonald's is meant to be the type of job where somebody in high school can get some extra money to maybe put towards a car or save money for school or whatever
so
that. No, McDonald's is not a career
school.
job. No. Well, that's the decision that they make. So I can make $15 an hour at McDonald's, so I drop out of school. Well, then you're dumb.
Well, there are people out there like that.
Well, then they're dumb. I can't make these people review that dumb.
Your educational system is a whole nother.
Well, we don't listen. All right.
For another time.
Yes, I would agree with that, and we can remember that for next time because I'm thoroughly enjoying that. So what?
Now we're almost an hour in.
It happens, man. I'm telling you.
The actual topics, and I brought some political things I wanted to talk about.
Wait, hold on. Let me finish with Venezuela real quick, though.
No, we're over that.
No, mass protests. We don't really got to get into that.
Yep.
What's that bottom thing there? It says oil exports, and we did that already.
Yep.
All right, we are in political. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. So I actually, while I was at work the other day, I had one of the advisors, and this guy makes a ton of money.
Cuba.
He's got a lot of licenses.
Welcome to Cuba.
And he turned to me and goes, Bill, what makes America great? I'm like, what do you think? He goes, capitalism. I said, actually, I really honestly think.
Wait, hold on. Did you ask him what he actually meant by saying capitalism?
Hey, come on, man. He's a high level banker.
Well, what did he say though? I want my listeners to be able to.
He said capitalism,
and that's it. You let him get away with just saying capitalism.
No, because I turned around and said, no. What I think makes America great is our ability to compromise.
Interesting.
I
didn't expect that.
It was what founded our country.
Interesting.
The Great Compromise of the Bill of Rights. It's what happens in every single negotiation. Everyone does it every single day. The United States and the American people's ability to compromise to get things done.
Trump's the art of the deal. Is that what you're talking about? I'm kidding.
Trump really. Anyway.
I'm kidding. I was thinking there.
The ability for people to say, I'm going to, meet you on a certain level to either make a sale, get a deal done, or make what I need to have happen is our great ability. Okay, everyone does it every single day, even if you don't realize it.
I would agree with that.
Okay, you're compromising your income when you buy food.
Yeah.
Okay? When you go in,
Your time alone is a compromise. You
You-
decided to use your
Yes.
time to put towards
Yes.
a job that you're going to get compensated for.
when you're agreeing on a real estate deal,
Yeah,
you're
I agree
compromising
with
certain
that.
things to make the deal
I totally
happen.
agree with that.
Everything we do is a compromise. And our government, when it was getting stuff done, the right and the left were compromising different things that they thought were unimportant to get their important topics done.
Yes, I would agree
Okay?
with that.
When I told him this, that it's our ability to compromise, and capitalism is based off compromise, and everything is based off of our ability to compromise, he walked away from it.
Okay, stop. Now, this is a guy that is very successful, right?
20 years in the industry, yes.
So what is your thoughts on why he didn't engage you in conversation about his? Because I mean,
Because I was right.
Well, I mean, but he could have his arguments and make his point. Did he just back out knowing that you were right and he didn't have nothing to say? Is that really what happened?
I don't know, but here's the thing.
Because that's a shame. At the point where you're that successful and you live the American dream and you achieved the happiness and all that kind of
Here's the
stuff,
thing.
and you can't even back up your argument.
Whoa.
Say something, man.
You have to understand. He was
Right?
in the middle of
Cuba? Right?
Well, he was in the
Correct.
middle of closing a deal. He came over to the printer. He literally stopped at my desk for 30 seconds, being all like, "Oh, capitalism is great," and I was like, because no offense, but I liked Bernie Sanders. I thought that he had.
Why
some
would I
really
be
good
offended
points.
by that? You said no offense.
But in any case,
Oh,
but
slow
liked
down.
him.
Legalize marijuana.
Really, Cuba?
Legalize
You and your
marijuana.
fucking cigars? That's the best you got for us? Legalize
You
marijuana?
do realize
I'm
that
perfectly
the
fine with
You do
marijuana
realize
being
the
legalized.
legalization of marijuana has caused the drug cartels of Mexico to start importing things like crystal meth into our country, and has created the things like the crystal meth.
But it's
problem
still
out in
not
California.
legal in all states.
Yeah,
I
but
get what you're saying, but
when you have an influx from the states,
all
that
right,
it is
fine.
legal,
We'll
you're
take
no longer
we'll
importing
take
it.
this on. That's fine.
Yeah.
So, do you think marijuana should be legalized?
Do I think it should be legalized?
I do.
I
absolutely do.
You know, honestly, I think that the economic benefits that have shown in the states where it is
Yes.
legalized is
Extraordinary.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
absolutely do. Just like alcohol.
Yes.
Even though alcohol, I think, is a far worse
But
drug
here's
than
the
marijuana.
Thing. Here's the thing.
This is why it's not
hold
legalized.
on. In the countries where it has been legalized and all drugs have been legalized.
Countries.
In the countries.
Okay.
That it has been legalized, okay? And rather than treating drug addiction and abuse as a social problem, they're treating it as a disease. A lot of the issues.
Whoa!
hold
Slow
on.
down. I gotta jump in here.
Yes.
Rather than treating drug addiction as a social problem than a disease, that's what you said?
But treating it as a disease.
Okay. Is it a disease? In your opinion, is it a fucking disease?
Well, when you have an excess amount of dopamine within your brain, that's.
Yeah, hold on one fucking second. I talked about this with one of my fucking workers, and when you ever.
Okay.
No, I'm not done. I'm
whoa,
just taking a second so I calm down.
Look.
So wait, hold on. So now I wake up tomorrow and I find out I have cancer, right? Which is the actual fucking disease, right? I didn't choose to do drugs that cause that disease. You're telling me, stop me when you need to, that when you make a decision to do whatever type of drugs that we're talking about here, and that drug fucks your life up, it's equal to me waking up tomorrow and I have cancer. Disease. Right? That's what you're saying?
Yep.
Listen.
Okay.
Listen,
Whoa,
if
whoa,
I had the choice, I would wake up tomorrow and not have cancer. I would choose that as opposed to being on fucking drugs and my life fucked up.
Okay.
Holy fucking shit.
Hold on,
Go.
you
Go.
crazy.
Jesus fucking Christ, my blood pressure.
So I'm gonna actually.
Do you believe that? Do you
Hold on.
believe it?
I'm gonna cite a study. Here,
All right,
okay?
I'm shutting up. I'm
Back-
shutting up because, good God.
Back in the 80s, they actually did a study with mice. That they put mice into a cage with no social interaction for the mice, and gave one coconated water, water with cocaine, and one without anything.
Coconated water.
Yeah, coconated water. So the mice constantly went back to the water that had cocaine in it and were
bet
drinking
they
it
did.
until they died.
Those dumbass mice. Now hold on, and I get your point, but you're talking about human beings and mice. Human beings and mice are.
Hold on.
Mice are very
Before you
instinctual.
jump on me, let me finish.
All right, go
They
ahead.
redid this study recently. Okay, I believe it,
I hope
it
they
might have been.
I hope they
Hold
use
on.
some dumbass
Whoa, whoa,
humans because there's
whoa.
plenty of them out there.
I believe this was MIT, but I'd have to honestly pull this up to cite it. But basically, what they did was they took mice again, and they took two different scenarios. They took that control scenario that they did back in the 80s, and then they took the mice that they were going to put in that control scenario and put them into a cage that had a very positive environment. Okay.
Wow.
With multiple
Okay.
different mice and a lot of different things to play with, and they put the coconated water in there, and they put the regular water.
Cuba.
What they found is that the mice did not go toward the coconated water, and when they had a positive environment, they shunned that water and went to the regular water. They took the same mice and put them into a dreary environment, and those mice turn around and kill themselves.
Break it down in layman's terms for our viewers, so our listeners.
So what I'm saying is,
go ahead. I'm with you, but I want you to break it down.
If you're in a negative environment, okay, your chances of abusing drugs is extraordinarily high.
Now, I would agree with that, and I got to interject only because of my thoughts get lost. So let's say I come from a family where the father's not there, the mother's not there. I got to fend for myself. They died at an early age, and I'm stressed out. I got all these problems, whatever. So I tend to turn to drugs to try to cope with those problems. And then I get addicted to those drugs. As you know, obviously drugs are addictive. It's okay. So go ahead. So you're saying that if I'm in an environment where both parents are there, we're nurturing, and I'm fine, I have nothing to worry about, money's there, and all that kind of stuff.
Of you abusing drugs.
So then,
extremely.
How do you explain the cases where the young people, and I'm sorry to refer to young people, but in a lot of cases I've seen it's with young people, they actually still turn to the drugs even when they have those environments. Go ahead.
Because the thing is, there are cases where you have physical addiction. You know, some people react to dopamine, which is a neurochemical transmitter in your brain, differently. Okay?
You know what's interesting about that? I totally agree with you, right?
Yes.
Because I could never. I was very paranoid about alcohol and drug use because there was a lot of it in my family. So I didn't have my first drink until I was 22, right? 22 years old. Because I saw a lot of alcoholism in my family and all that kind of thing, right? So. But I can sit here and tell you I will never be an alcoholic and I will never be a drug addict because I don't value what I get from the drugs enough to allow it to.
You don't actually get anything from the drug.
No. I get some shit from the drug. Excuse me.
It's all temporary. When the drug runs out, you need more.
But right. So, but I don't feel the need to go after and chase it, and I need to have that in my life, and I gotta, you know what I mean? I don't have that. I'll never be addicted to drugs. I can tell you definitively that I will never be addicted to drugs.
How would you know that you wouldn't be addicted?
No, because I've tried a lot of stuff, and I don't feel that. Oh my God, this is fantastic! I gotta have this in my life every day. I've never had that feeling.
You would keep going back to it at least.
No, I've done I did what the fuck is that? I shrooms, didn't do it. I did obviously I smoked weed before, didn't do it. Like in terms of I need to have this every day.
Drugs.
You know, I did alcohol obviously. And so it's like even alcohol, I don't like. I don't need to have that in my life all the time every day. No, I would never ever be an addict.
So if you had to change, would you do marijuana? Like an everyday thing?
No, I've done marijuana.
It's a recreational thing.
No, I'm not mad at it, but I would not. No, I don't get enough out of it to be. And my point here is that people make it, and I guess I can only speak from what I know. People make a choice to let these things rule their lives.
Yes.
So now, what I will say is that each individual is different. Each person is not as strong as the next person. So when you have the stresses of life that can overwhelm you, and when you're in a position where you've lost everything or whatever,
and you have no perspective,
right, or whatever, you can turn to these drugs and let them rule your life.
Yes.
That I get.
I have a little.
So now, when it comes to this idea that addiction is a disease, I'm not buying that.
So here's the thing: if you don't have that perspective to understand what is actually decent in the education, to understand what is decent in life, and to not go off of which
you don't have it, okay, I got you.
To understand those things,
I got you.
Okay, and you can only see as far in front of your face.
Okay, so that's
treat that.
Okay,
as a
so what you're
disease.
saying suggests that the every person, no, not every person, but let take me for instance.
The vast majority of people can be taught that and not be addicted to the drugs.
Yeah, but focus on the idea that it's an addiction. I mean, that's its disease.
Right.
That I can't.
So what I'm saying
wrap my head
is,
around
you
that.
take a person that's an addict, you take them out of their situation, find out what's wrong with them.
In terms of their depression or what?
Yep.
Okay, I got you.
And their situation, teach them how to correct that
and cope.
And cope and give them coping mechanisms, and you will remove that social problem. However, it is profitable to lock people up.
That's a whole other
Now,
conversation.
what do you think about like how doctors give? You say disease, cancer is a disease.
When doctors go and prescribe opioids, because we have a massive opioid problem in the world, in the country. When you have people going back to a really shitty environment, okay, they're going to get addicted to those opioids and removing themselves.
I agree with that, but that doesn't.
I've had friends, okay,
Me too.
that went down that rabbit hole, and got addicted to heroin, okay, came into this area, changed their life, and they cleaned their asses the hell
Okay,
up.
all right, good. I'm glad you brought that up. So they came into to this area. They're able to change their lives. What's provided for them, right?
Yep.
So I have these same people. You claim it's a disease. I have these same people that are in this area that have not made the choice to not do these drugs and have their lives turn around and let these drugs rule their lives. So my point here is that I don't believe that it's a disease because people are making a choice to not make the changes necessary to change their lives and not have the drug rule over them. Do you know what I'm saying?
And if you have cancer, you can have the choice of not seeking treatment.
Well, that's ridiculous because you didn't wake up one morning and say, let me go try some cancer.
Actually, it's really fun. You can be treated like a cancer patient. If you go in and say, hey, I have stomach problems, and they go, well, we need to run a urine test on you, and you eat pasta sauce the night before doing the test, they're going to look at you and be like, oh, you have a tumor. And then $10,000 later, they go, oh, you're cancer-free. You don't have any cancer.
Nope. No, I believe you, but you get my point, what I'm saying.
Look, you understand my point of, hey, if you actually go and figure out what the hell's wrong.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you're saying that go and figure out what's wrong. If it's a disease, then that means it's like you don't have control over the disease. Nope. You woke up one morning and you have cancer. Drugs aren't like that.
And look, you have cancer because of the different circumstances that you go into your life. If you're going to go out and drink diet soda all day long, guess what? You're going to increase your chances of cancer.
We're getting into some stuff.
Because the cancer that you can get in your life is as a result of the stresses that you put upon your body. And the things you put inside yourself. So if you're going to go and live a certain way, guess what?
Here's where we get into a little bit of trouble, right? So now we talk about.
You got me. That's the best part.
No, I don't think I got you. I'm just making a point. So we talk about the FDA, right? The Federal Drug Administration, where we're this agency that's supposed to police foods. And we talked about this before on other podcasts. They're supposed to make sure that foods are safe or they don't allow certain things and all that kind of stuff, right? So now, when you are under the illusion that the FDA is out there making sure that you're safe and the foods you eat are safe, you are being misled, just like you are with the Federal Reserve banking system. I don't agree with that. I think we do something better.
There was just some wonderful backdoor stuff in 1911 or 19.
I think we could do something better, and I think you actually could come up with something better than the current banking system that we have. Actually, because that banking system is beneficial to the top people and not the people that are below it. I think you can do better. Honestly, I do.
The best part is I actually found I work in a place that has some books pre-fed on the banking system, and they're like, 5 inches thick and fucking like 2 feet long.
I just don't like how they had this, the Federal Reserve, and I'm like, that shit is not federal. That's one of the biggest problems I have with it.
No, you know what it's called? It's marketing, sir.
It's bullshit. No, I call it bullshit.
No, it's marketing.
No, okay, it's marketing in the sense that people are too stupid to really pay attention, and they manipulate it.
Yep.
Okay, I'm glad you're on the same page with me. All right, so back to the drug shit. So, you made me lose my fucking point.
I do have something about.
Cuba speaks. Go, Cuba. What do we got?
Well, he was saying earlier about white America.
Woo-wee. Go ahead.
Well, stating about how cancer is a disease.
Nope. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, but
okay. Let me get to the point.
Drugs are not.
Do you think how doctors give marijuana to cancer patients? Do you think that's even leading them to even more serious pain?
Well, marijuana is used as a anti-pain
depressant.
Yeah.
So
block your dreams. But
would you count that as somebody without cancer even smoking marijuana as a disease?
Okay. No. Marijuana is all right. That's a whole different thing. All right. So we're talking about the legalization of marijuana. We brought that up before, right? So I think that's what he's talking about, right?
Should you legalize it?
Do you think marijuana should be legalized overall across the country? Yeah. I totally agree. Because here's the thing about it, right? So when you compare the negative impact of alcohol on the human body and the result of crimes being committed and the actual amount of people in jail as a result of alcohol use compared to weed, there is no fucking comparison.
And you want to know the best part is once you legalize it, the criminal agencies are just going to find.
Here's the problem with legalizing marijuana, right? The pharmaceutical industries have a control over things that will dampen your pain. Right?
Yep.
So marijuana is something you could grow in your fucking backyard.
Yep. And you know what they did out west?
And guess
States?
what?
They actually had pharmaceutical companies make synthetic marijuana. Marijuana itself is illegal, but the synthetic marijuana the pharmaceutical companies are putting out is completely legal.
That's bullshit.
Yeah,
that offends me. So that's one of the things that where I'm like, why are people allowing this fucking blatant bullshit? Like it's blatant and people don't react the way they should.
It's just a leaf, though.
That's what that's exactly my point, though.
It's nature.
It's like it's out there for you to just have it and use it and grow it. It's like obviously they want to make a profit over the shit.
Because some people get indoctrinated into certain things and they're stuck with that specific belief that that's how it's supposed to be.
Yes.
And once you're stuck like that in a certain point in your life, you're not going to change.
That's too bad.
And that's why
we're at a point now with in terms of information, the internet, all that kind of stuff. People need to utilize the information that's out there and not be stuck into what they've been programmed to believe.
Don't.
I know they don't. You're right. You're right.
So it might take a little while.
You're right.
So
all right.
I think look, the next big topic here is our biggest political issue in this country that I do not think anyone's really talking about, and it's bigger than things like the Wolf Pack or like money in politics or anything like that. It's a thing called gerrymandering.
All right, for my listeners, we're going to go with what exactly does that word mean?
Okay, gerrymandering is the ability for your elected politicians to choose their voting districts.
That's fucking bull. We talked about this, and when you talked about it, I looked it up, and I got really fucking pissed that people aren't paying attention enough to see the bullshit that's happening. When you look at that gerrymandering fucking shit, it allows a certain level of control.
Hold on. Which is completely illegal.
That's what I'm talking about! When you... I can't. I'm gonna blow up.
Some new
all right, explain this shit on layman's terms so we don't about Cuba. Do you know what gerrymandering? What he's talking about?
Okay.
Explain. I can't do it because I'm gonna get fucking mad because it's legal. 9, my right? Fucking ass.
You know Route 9, right?
Sure.
You know 9G.
Yes,
okay, so let's take
don't piss me off.
A road that's connected between the two of them.
It's
right?
fine.
Now, Old Knoxon Road.
Yeah, let's go with Knoxon Road, and you have Titusville Road right next to it. So there's just roads going through the town. Now, based upon voting records of each individual area, which is in the census, to say these houses
vote a certain way
historically. Some of them vote Republican, some of them vote Democrat.
It's completely
illegal for your elected officials to say, I'm going to pick this side of the street to a mile down the road, and we're going to switch to the other side of the street.
Here's the problem.
The next mile down the road.
So here is the exact problem with that shit, right? So that allows us politicians to take advantage of the idea of splitting up districts and people and all that kind of shit, knowing they're going to vote a certain fucking way.
Yep.
So that means you're guaranteed a certain fucking type of vote.
Yep.
That should not be allowed, and it should not be legal. And it pisses me off because people don't pay attention enough to not allow that sort of fucking shit to go along and be allowed to be illegal. Be legal.
Now, the fun part about this is that since you have these politicians that are going out and picking their...
If you want to have a fucking...
And know that they're going to get reelected because historically
just reelected, just from they don't got to do no work.
Doing whatever the hell they want.
If they're not challenged, it's just, okay, it's him. All right, go. Boom. We better vote that way.
Because there's historical voting toward those specific things.
Why did you bring? I'm getting mad.
Yeah, I know you are. Pushing your buttons, Uncle John.
Well, it's working, you fucking white America. God damn it.
So if you have that in place, you do not need to compromise your positions to get things done because eventually you're going to be able to stack the entire legislature.
Are you listening to this?
In your particular pocket.
Stack the legislature.
Is what has happened.
And if you want to call yourself paying attention, right? So what you get is people that, when it comes to the presidency, right? They all of a sudden, everybody's involved. Everybody wants to pay attention, right? But when it comes to the Senate and the House, right? When you have a situation where you're dealing with a gerrymandering where certain things are pretty much, at this point, guaranteed to happen.
Yep.
Nobody pays attention. And I can't believe the level of stupidity people have when it comes to the influence of that sort of thing, when they should be out there mad at that shit and going against the idea that shit is legal. Like, if you want to call yourself saying that your vote fucking matters, how do you allow that shit to be legal?
Because your vote doesn't matter at that point.
Exactly! How are you not pissed off at that? This was the year we found out our votes did. This was the year that was blatantly obvious that our votes did not matter, and nobody really paid attention and gave a fuck. Nobody.
So there's states out there. South Carolina is a big one, where you have voting districts for Senate seats that go
That's
the
basic
entire
fucking shit.
length of the state, and they're like maybe like 3 or 4 miles wide. Now, here's the hope out there. Florida, of all places,
I love Florida.
had
I love Florida.
had a gerrymandering problem.
I love Florida laws. I just love it.
And fixed it. And made their
Really?
voting. Yes, they fixed it. You can actually pull it up online and see pre and post gerrymandering.
Okay, so what do you... I'm sorry, I know you had a thought, but what do you think should happen federally in terms of making that not legal?
So here's the thing. We have counties all over the place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you have different regions in each state. Why the hell are your voting districts not in line with just your counties and your regions?
There you go. Boom. Done.
Don't give those politicians that got elected the ability to restructure their districts.
It leads credence to this shit is all fucking rigged. It does. How you going to argue that?
Because they did rig it.
That's what I'm saying.
You gave the
there's
people
that would argue it. And it's like, why? And first of all, why are you arguing it? It's to your detriment. You would argue about this?
It is rigged. I don't want to.
Are you kidding? I'm not attacking you. I'm just saying in general.
It's called gerrymandering, and that's the rigging for it. So.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you would dare argue that? This shit should just not be legal. Period. How dare it? Doesn't matter what side I lean on, or what color of skin I have, or how much money's in my bank account. It's bad for us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry I'm yelling. I know I'm getting
and
a headache.
if you really want oversight, give the judges the ability to do that, or just put it in the saying each county or district is able to.
This is a black and white fucking issue. If anybody dares question this, you got a fucking real serious problem, because this is something that is not open to interpretation, in my opinion. It's just not. It's not. So if you want to sit there and run your mouth in the comments, or you want to talk about, like, you can. Don't argue. Like, I'm gonna get mad. I'm already mad. I'm gonna get mad. Moving on. Oh fuck, we're fucked. The next thing is gender equality. We're fucked.
So here's the thing, and I've had
gender equality is the next fucking topic, and we're fucked. So I can't handle it.
So here's the thing. I want to touch on 2 major things. Okay.
God,
women in positions of public service, such as the police force, firefighters, or the military women in combat.
All right.
So, should women be in there? Yes. The best snipers in the world, were in the Russian military during World War II. They had the highest body counts. They fucked the Nazis up.
And were they women?
They were women, yes.
Okay.
Your best snipers.
Here's my opinion about what we're talking about.
However, if you're going to be in those positions, you should pass the same.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to talk about. I have a friend who recently went into police training, right? And he told me the standards are not the same for women. They're lowered for women. Lowered. So my thing is, the job, in this instance, the job is the job is the job. Yep. We don't lower the fucking standards so that, because you're a woman, you can now do less push-ups, or you can do less fucking pull-ups just because you're a woman. The job's the job's the job. So ultimately, look at it like this, right?
If you're a firefighter and you run into a burning building, you got to pull a person out. If you can't,
you have to have the strength and ability to do that. We don't lower the standard for something like that. Now, what I will say is, the standards for what is acceptable to be able to do that job have probably been set by men. Right? Wouldn't you? That's part of the case, right?
Yes.
Now, so a woman is going to look at that situation and say, okay,
whoa. Set on by men who have
done the job.
Done the job and been successful.
So is it now a bias to now say, well, if you can't meet the standards of men, you can't do the job? Do you see what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to defend women here.
Yeah, no, I understand where you're coming from. The only thing I'm going to say is, look, if it's going to come down to it, if you need to be able to pull anybody out of a building and you can't do it,
you have to be able to do it.
You have.
I don't give a shit if you're a man or a woman or a fucking amoeba. You have to be able to do it.
Bingo.
Right?
It's a job you want to do. You got to do it the right way.
I just stop yelling.
Some
stuff. The reason why I'm yelling is because some stuff is black and white and simple and easy to understand, and people are going to tear the shit apart and act like there's some sort of fucking agenda that's against women or whoever, and that's not the case. The job is a job is a job. Yes. Can you do it or can't you do it? It's not a matter of I feel strongly for men to be able to do the job, or I feel strongly for women to do the job. The job is a job is a job. So now when you apply that same thing to the military or any other job that is a firefighter or whatever the fuck. If you can't do the job, you can't do the job. And so it reminds me of them lowering the standards for firefighters, actually, for black America to be able to get into those jobs So they lower the standards of what's expected for those jobs. Have you heard about this shit? Where they lowered the test scores for black individuals so they can pass the test so we can have more black firefighters? No! Whatever the standards are for the firefighters to be able to achieve the level of, I'm sorry, I lost my gum. The level of excellence when it comes to firefighting, those standards need to be maintained. Now, if the questions are questions that are contrary to what a black person might know about a situation, then fine. But when it comes to the ability to be able to pull a person out of a fire or deal with the fire, and those questions are black and white in terms of the fire, there's nothing to talk about.
Now, here's the thing. In terms of the affirmative action laws, they're out there that say you have to hire a certain number of people, of minority statures.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm not mad at that either. But here's the thing: on the application, you should remove race.
I agree with.
Screen all the applications.
If you're gonna play the affirmative action game, I would say make the shit black and white, so you don't even know what race you're dealing with. So if the person who ends up happening to be black fits the qualifications of the job, they just happen to be black, and as long as they can do the job, it doesn't matter.
Yup.
That's a really, really good idea.
And if you have, let's say, 10 applicants come in, and 5 of them are qualified.
That is a really good job. Why is it there?
Hold on, let me finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
Of those 5 applicants that actually get to the interview, besides the person that looking at it going, I like this person.
Right.
You have those 5 come in.
Right.
You have 4 white people come in, and then a black guy come in.
Right.
That black guy gets the job. As long as he's not crazy, passes your background check.
So what you're saying is affirmative action should be you already have a certain number of white people in those jobs.
Qualified.
Equally qualified. That's what affirmative action should be.
Yes.
I agree with that. I have no problem with that.
You have to hire this many people.
I totally agree with that.
If you
that is the way it should be. I agree with that.
Minority get past the requirements for a particular job, that the minority should have preferential treatment.
No, I agree with that. That's good.
When you are able to do
equally,
the job as equally as a majority individual.
I agree. Now, what we talk about here is there's a certain point we have to have a certain number of those individuals, black, whatever, that are in the position so that you don't have, the vast majority of white people running everything.
Yeah.
I'm totally.
Here's the thing, okay? Now, I
agree
work
with
in
that.
a bank, right? It was just predominantly white male throughout most of history. The majority of managers I've had in the last 5 years have been women and minority women.
Interesting. What does a woman know?
And they, in most cases, are better at their jobs than the men.
Interesting.
Far more hardcore than the men.
If they're doing the job, I got no problem with women at all.
In terms of overall equality, now I have 3 sisters, okay? And some of them could tear your face off if you looked at them.
Yes, they could.
They're really,
I'm not going to say any names.
And in growing up, I always thought women were always equal because that's how I was taught. Okay, when I got into adulthood, that kind of put me back because there are women out there that I'm delicate, this and that. I'm like,
there are men out there that fit into that too.
Yeah, but in any case, okay.
I know what you're saying.
Now I lived in a very liberal town at one point in my life, where almost anything went.
Was that Pulse?
Yeah,
yes, it's very liberal there. I agree with that.
So I'm going home one day, right, and I stop the street, and this is actually before the New York State laws in terms of women toplessness came out, right? Now I'm just, at the stoplight and come walking down the street at about like 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Wait, did you say topless woman?
Yes. Completely topless. She had a backpack on. She had shorts on.
Holy fucking
no shirt,
shit.
no bra. Just flapping in the breeze.
Well, this leads into our next topic, doesn't it?
And I'm sitting there and I
was here we
this
go.
Would be wrong if
I kind of
get in trouble by just
but
looking.
But here's the thing.
Well, you
can't
get in trouble by looking.
Did people stare? Yes.
Hell yeah, you fucking staring fucking random titties out there. Hold on.
Right in my
I would have stared too. I don't even like titties like that.
It would be wrong because they can probably.
No, it's not wrong. No, hell no. Bullshit. What?
She just walked around.
Hell no, it's not wrong for you to look. Okay, now.
It wasn't,
Now, what if we just touched then?
No, you can't touch. No.
Okay, it's a body part.
I got my personal space.
You cannot touch.
Me.
You can't touch.
You can't touch.
But if your body part is specifically exposed.
No, you can't touch. It doesn't matter what's exposed. You can't touch.
So a guy can be shirtless then.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys can be shirtless. That's what the whole point of it is.
Touch you, and you don't want him to do it. They have no right to do it.
No, you can't touch.
You can't touch.
So what if there's okay. Now,
Okay.
what is the age that they can do this?
That's a good
What is
question.
the age?
Yes.
That's a good question. Do you know
What
that?
is the age? Now,
That's
what if
a
a little
good question.
What if
that leads into
16-year-old?
what the point I was going to make about it, right? Okay, so we're obviously leading into this law that was passed that women are now to have their breasts exposed just like men would, right?
Right.
Okay, so here's the problem I have with it. Now, generally speaking, go ahead, have your titties out. I don't give a shit. But what ends up happening is now you're teaching young women that they're able
right
to
to
do
do
it. They can do that too, right?
And they can be
teaching them to do
comfortable
that and be
with
comfortable with that. On its surface,
Now, wouldn't that be?
on its surface, I have no problem with that. On its surface, but what we have to realize is that now you're telling young girls that you can have your boobs or whatever out, but it's gonna garner some level of attention
Of course.
from people that may not care about touching or abducting or
And
doing
something
whatever.
That's then called assault.
Right, and I agree with that.
And
They
that's
should,
against the law.
and absolutely, they should be assaulted. But my point here is that I don't want my daughter seeing women with their boobs out, and making that my daughter think that it's okay to just have your boobs out, only in the sense that we live in a society where that's just not
And that's
not
your individual parenting.
right. So what I'm saying is that so we're living in a society where you might garner a little bit more attention with your boobs out than you would somebody who doesn't have the boobs out. Now, if a woman wants to do that, more power to them. But I don't want him. I don't want the boobs out there for my daughter to see because it's gonna make her think, okay, I got my boobs out. Now, when you look at it from the perspective of women's rights, women's movement, we're equal to men, right? Whatever. That's fine. But I'm gonna tell my daughter, you probably shouldn't do that because you might be more likely to.
And that's
Now,
you,
wouldn't that encourage
you might
other
be more
people?
you might be more likely to have somebody come after you sexually than you would somebody that has it covered. Now,
So you're incapable of having that conversation.
So
with
wouldn't
your
you be
daughter?
encouraging pedophiles?
hold on. You're not. Here's the thing. The argument there would be that you attack men in the sense of how you react to those boobs being out.
Look,
that's what you're supposed to be doing.
Here's the thing. In terms of an individual dressing in a certain way that's provocative, okay, and saying, "Oh, she was asking for it in terms of raping," it's actually very simple. Don't fucking rape people.
Okay, so here's the extreme of that, right? So you look into certain Muslim cultures, right? They want their women completely cold from head to toe. You can only see their fucking eyes, right?
And that's their
now,
religion?
to me, I think it's retarded. I think men should have to fucking control themselves and not react to women being able to dress comfortably.
But their religion says that men cannot control themselves.
Well, that's bullshit. That's not fair to the fucking women. I know what you're saying. It is what it is. But I don't agree with that. Men need to fucking be able to control themselves. I'm sorry. Now, if you want to have whatever crazy thoughts you want to have in your mind later on when you're jerking off, whatever. But you can't act on those fucking shit just because a woman's walking down the street wearing fucking string bikini. You can't act on it. Just like we wouldn't be able to fucking be able to grope whoever the fuck we want to grope just because we want to. You have to have a certain level of control. Now, just based on the surface of the law, I agree with it.
Yep.
But there's far more reaching ramifications of it in terms of.
See, here's the thing. In terms of the personal space thing, I've seen women violate men, whereas if a man was to do the same thing, they would get in trouble.
Oh yeah, there's a
that.
double standard.
There is a,
But it reaches far a little further because the double standard reaches into court in terms of the women getting the children and all that kind of stuff. It goes a little further than it ain't just
because in cases of child support and domestic violence situations, women are going to garner preferential treatment over the men, which men can be victims of domestic violence from women. They can be the victims of domestic violence from other men.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and it happens on both sides. That's what is the equality between the sexes, and it's not currently seen like that because as a society we're still growing up to be able to come to terms with those concepts. It's going to take a while.
That's true.
But
I think people are not realistic about.
It is our responsibility to pass on the values that we deem important to our progeny to say, hey, yes, you can walk around topless. Can this get you into trouble?
No.
Yes. Should you lay your hands on another person? Absolutely not.
I can't.
If they hit you, can you put them down? The law says that
I've been programmed.
Self-defense
You're right.
is only
You're
enough
right, and I agree with
in
you.
terms of stopping the assault against you.
You're right.
So if someone spits on you,
you're right.
You're not allowed to hit them.
But you are allowed to file a complaint, and that is assault.
Yeah.
Someone spits on you, that's assault.
And you're not.
If you spit on a police
okay,
officer,
let me
assault.
do this then, right? And I agree with you on the basis of it, right? But I can't have my daughter out there shirtless.
then that's your prerogative. But once she's 18, if she wants to walk around and be like, "Woo, my boobs are out everywhere,"
But then
it's
she's
her right.
encouraging people.
Not in my house,
Well, she's
but I
like,
agree with
Guess
you.
what? And she moves out. Hey,
Whatever, you better move out because they're not in my house.
Yeah, well, you know,
Only because there's gonna people are gonna want to hurt her.
guess
you know
what?
I mean?
Guess what? If you tell her you walk around topless, you're gonna get effed up. She becomes an adult and she walks around topless and gets effed up. Guess what?
She learned.
She learned. She didn't listen.
There it is.
She learned.
Well, I don't want to. All right, so obviously, when you have a daughter, you don't want to have her go through that. But yes, you're right.
Look,
young people have to learn the hard way. I've learned.
Not everyone, but some people do. You know, should you say, is it acceptable for a person to not, go out and do what you want as long as it doesn't harm another individual? Yes. Okay. Is it acceptable to harm another individual? No. Those are pretty basic freaking concepts. Okay. To say, hey, you need to protect yourself? Yes. Should you use tact? Yes. Do people still use tact? No.
All right. So this leads me into just. Well, I know you got your list here, but I just got to touch on it real quick. What do you think about feminism today? Now, as it pertains to what it's become, as opposed to what it used to be. Real quick. You don't got to spend a lot of time on it.
You mean like in terms of some feminists being over the top and
It seems like there's it's more so about just hating men and not building women up.
Oh, okay. I'm actually gonna reflect to
this is a pertinent thing to the whole topic issue.
I can't remember the specific name of them, but it was the elite.
Cuba.
Hold on, no. This is the elite force of the Emperor of Constantinople. Okay, what they did. Hold on, let me tie this together. What they did was they took. Stop, Uncle John.
I didn't say anything.
What they did
it's like you
was
want
they
me to.
took orphans. Okay, at that time, enrolled them into their military force, trained them, and they were in the very beginning. They were very, very progressive. They were very open-minded. They did a lot of progressive ideals. As those organizations started to mature over the time of the empire, they became very conservative, they became very close-minded, and they started becoming very insular in that if you weren't part of their membership since birth, you were all of a sudden below and beneath everyone else. So you can start with a very progressive and liberal mindset, but after time, you're going to evolve into something that is no longer as progressive. It happens to almost every single organization out there. It's very difficult to remain moving forward as anything starts to age and becomes progressive. Look at some of the biggest religions out there. They start, you gotta love everyone, help thy neighbor, everything along those lines. And look at what they've become now.
That's a whole other podcast.
It's the same thing. Same concept. You start as equality, rights, and then you become radicalized.
You're right. I got no argument for that. Yep. That's accurate.
So into my last topic, because I know you love conspiracy theories.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Here's my thoughts on this.
I'm already.
The internet has a lot of information on it.
Fake news.
And there's a lot of fake news.
Way to go, Cuba.
Here's my thought. Of the universe, there are billions of stars. There are billions of planets orbiting all of those stars. We are
above.
going out there.
He's talking about aliens.
We jumped above some shit just now. Okay, I'm surprised you went at it like this.
In terms of the universe, there's so much space out there, and the statistical
Makes
probability
no sense for us to
of being alone is extraordinarily low, even though we are in the first 16% of habitable time frame for the universe. So
say that again slow for all of us that aren't paying attention.
16% of habitable time frame for intelligent species. So as they've stated, things like Stephen Hawking, because I know that you got a thing against him.
No, hold on a second.
Well, let me finish. In terms of all the things that are out there, either we are one of the first intelligent species to get this far, or there's a community out there that will not interfere with us at the current moment because our level of technological development is so minuscule that by interfering with our society right now, it will destroy us.
So you're suggesting that we're an experiment?
We're a young species.
Young species.
Do you know what that means?
Young species experiment.
No, not an experiment.
Well, you just said
but
that.
a civilization, look at our civilization, okay? In the course of the, 3.6 or 4.6 billion years of the planet, it takes about 30,000 years for a mountain range to become eroded. 30,000 years. Our civilization rose in the last about 20,000. Our species in at least the last 100,000.
We've achieved some incredible things in our time.
In the last freaking 2,000 years.
That's
yes.
very true.
And I'm only going to Western society because Eastern society had some crazy stuff and some crazy solutions also, which is a whole different thing in itself. However,
that's the next week. No, we're gonna do. What we're gonna do is. We're gonna do
the solution to taxes.
The Uncle John's cabin. Like I'll use your name as a sublet to the mood room, but because I do like the name.
Uncle John's cabin.
Uncle John, I do like the name. But so what we'll do is we'll do because I have my Leslie on Thursday, and I love Leslie. She's fantastic. So what I'll do is I'll do it every other week.
Okay.
And I'll have the Uncle John's cabin on Thursday with you, and then I'll have the Leslie hour on the opposite week. Okay. So we'll still do the same amount of shows.
But hold on.
No, go ahead. I just wanted to jump in.
So there's so much stuff out there that, look, if there are aliens, and there could be, there might be, there might not be, we don't really know yet. Yeah. But, let's say the government had alien technology, and they had like a light bulb, or they had the parking meter. Now, if you have a parking meter outside of the context of what a parking meter is or what a light bulb is, and you have no idea how to use it, and you're just kind of like, oh, we got one of these things, are you going to tell the public, like, hey, we have one of these things, and make them more afraid because they can be hurted by really simplistic fear things?
That is so true.
Or are you going to keep that secret? Now, the easiest way to keep something secret is to put all the information out there. Even amongst, and I call this my Stargate theory, is that, if you put all the information out there amongst all it's a wonderful show.
Ryan, I miss Stargate. But we spent some time on
Stargate. They put out, it was like the 100th episode where they put a television show in a television show where they basically said, they're right in terms of what's going on, but there's so much other nonsense out there that you can never not sound crazy if you're saying, hey, I discovered this particular thing. So they could easily put out all the information you ever want to know and find out, hey, this is actually real and true, but then they'll put out so much disinformation that you won't know what is or what isn't true.
That's true. I totally
and
agree.
And they'll make
that's extremely clever.
Show
that's extremely clever to do in terms of controlling people.
Or a movie that when someone says, I found this particular thing out about the government or this, that, and the other thing, someone's going to look and be like, oh yeah, I saw that show.
Yeah, I got nothing. That's so true. You can easily control people using those tactics.
Yes. And
I have to point out here that I'm looking at the board here, and it says conspiracy topics to push John's buttons. That's funny. We skipped over that. So, what's that next thing? Georgia.
Now here's
oh shit.
Here's
you know what?
The fun ones we could talk for an hour on if you really want.
We did a lot of time today, and I think we should save Georgia for the next show.
Oh, you want to?
Yeah, I think we should start off. Well, so all right. So on the bottom there it says.
When we brought it up, we might as well say what it is so people can look.
All right, you can say what it is, but then we'll go into it.
So
next show.
Back in the '70s, a man named J.C. Christ put up some I believe they're granite stones down in Georgia with the quote unquote new 10 Commandments for the age of enlightenment. Okay. Where
these are actually written in stone.
These are actually written in stone in Georgia. They're in 4 ancient languages and 7 modern languages, issuing out the new 10 Commandments for people.
Cuba.
Now, a lot of them are really, and you should pull this up because a lot of them are really reasonable. Don't be a cancer.
Yeah, I know, but there are some. Okay, I've seen the whole Georgia Stone thing, right? So there are some. I don't want to do this because you're going to start talking, and so there's some satanic undertones to all of this.
Now here's my big thought about this, and definitely look it up, see the different things about this.
So what is it, Georgia?
What is it? Georgia Guidestones. Here's my big thought on this. Now, if it's real or not, or if you have people that are out there that are going toward one particular thing or not, whatever. My concern is that you have people out there with enough money that they're going to throw millions of dollars, and this is back in the 70s, millions of dollars, on a particular project to do nothing more than put up rocks.
Let me read this real quick. The Georgia Guidestones is a granite monument erected in the 1980s in Elbert County, Georgia, in the United States. A set of 10 guidelines is inscribed on the structure in 8 modern languages, and shorter messages is inscribed at the top of the structure in 4 ancient language scripts: Babylonian, Classical Greek, Sanskrit, and Egyptian hieroglyphs.
Yep.
The monument stands at the highest point of the Elbert County, about 90 miles east of Atlanta, 45 miles from Athens, and 9 miles north of center of Elberton. One slab stands in the center with 4 arranged around it.
They're positioned in terms of astronomical stuff.
Interesting.
Now, you had people out there that had enough money to spend all this cash to bring these stones here, to put them in place and put their beliefs on them, and then donated it to the state. So it's now taxpayer dollars that are keeping this.
What
thing
the
up.
fuck, really?
Yeah,
I hate it's
so,
what I'm talking about. The reason why I hate it is because a lot of these things it's blatant.
Yeah.
What's going on, but people just don't pay attention.
Well, people pay attention. People go and vandalize this thing on a regular basis.
Oh, really?
And yeah, look at this.
Well, no. I mean on a grander scale, paying attention, not just people saying, "What the fuck."
There's people that see it, but people in terms of saying, "Hey, stop this," it's from the '80s. Like, that's a lifetime ago for some people. They're not going to say, "Oh my God."
The '80s is a lifetime ago. I know.
I was born
You're right. You're right.
I'm in my 30s, man. I was born in the '80s. So scroll down and read off the 10 Commandments, because this is hilarious.
All right. We're going to after we read the 10 Commandments, we're going to stop the show.
And then I want to give you the numbers on this, and then we can finish up.
This is it right here, right?
That's the physical data. That's not what you're looking for.
Let's see.
Scroll back up. You might need to. That's the astronomicals. Okay, right there.
Right here.
Descriptions: maintain humanity under 500 million people.
I remember that
in perpetual
one because
balance with nature. Hold on. Guide reproductive wisely. Improve fitness and diversity. Unite humanity in a living new language. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things tempered with reason. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Let nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. Balance personal rights and social duties. Prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. Be not a cancer upon the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. Okay. Now these sound reasonable, right?
I know.
Look at that first number.
Right. So, but hold on a second. So, I've heard people talk about those very exact 10 things, right?
Yes.
And so when you delve a little bit deeper into, there's some satanic overtones.
No.
Hold on, I'm just gonna let you. You can argue whatever you want.
You can just.
But so these are the first satanic tenets that look on the surface that they're good and beneficial, right? But when you break them down, it's like some of these things sound fucking horrible.
Well, those things sound good, but the first one. 500 million people. What is our current population of the planet?
7 billion, is that the number?
You do realize that's 5% of the current population.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
And there's people that back in the 80s and in late 70s had enough money to put these things up to say this is what you should do. And 95% of the world's population buy.
And they don't pay attention. Anyway, so I don't know why we're on fucking Facebook here. This is the Cuba just wants to put us out in the world. But anyway, I think we're gonna end the show here. We touched a lot of stuff. Did we miss? No, we did a good job.
No, we're just gonna wrap up and Uncle John his blasphemy.
All right, so we're gonna end the show here, and next time on this specific episode, it'll probably be 2 weeks from now. But we'll continue where we left off, and we'll start off with the stones here. And then we'll go from there.
So if you guys had fun, you liked it, please comment, subscribe, and
dislike. Dislike is always fun.
And if you want to hear anything particular, comment and ask.
And also, one rare thing that we're willing to do here is if you want to be on the show, all you got to do is talk in the comments. We look at the comments, and if you want to be on the show, if you got Skype,
blasphemy against the truth of John.
Right. So you can Skype in and give your opinions about it. But thanks for listening, and stop it. Cuba, really? You don't contribute a lot, but you put us on Facebook?
Close.
All right. Yeah, open. Close. It's closed. Now we're open. All right. Bye, folks. Thanks again.
Good morning, Vietnam.
Wow. You need Jesus Christ.